So we've got some like colors there. That's really close now. I'm actually quite happy with that. Man, the AR Craw absolutely killed it on this color. And just like that, we're already off to a horrible start. Stupid thing. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The World's Worst Fishing. I'm your host, Chris Jones. Thanks for being here today. Be sure to like, subscribe, and make sure to hit the notification bell. That way you don't miss any uploads. YouTube's algorithm is really bad, and it doesn't really show most of your subscriber base your videos. So you definitely have to click that feature if you want to keep up with what we've got going on. So today, we're going to try a really neat color match, okay? So my buddy at Shankbait sent me this crawfish, and we'll take a much better look at this. The realism on this thing and the colors, and I mean, it's just right. So I've always wanted to color match this, but I kind of needed one of those like super duper hyper realistic crawfish molds to do it. Not necessarily a practical mold like one that kicks or has action, but just one of those like really detailed profile baits. And I have sort of one of those in a crawfish in an open pore silicone mold, but I've always wanted one in injection. So I recently picked one up that I think will kind of work for this. We got our hands full. Let's see if we can color match this using injection. Okay, wow, let's just take a look here. Just look at the claw. Yeah, let's just look at like one claw. Insane. And they even have a little bit of pliability, I guess, right? You would call that? Incredible. Just look at the details, right? Okay. So, for this sort of a hyper-realistic example, right, we needed a hyper-realistic cavity, right? Or mold. Okay, so we picked one up. I think that'll look really cool. For anyone who's going to ask in the comments, this is a Bass Tackle HD Craw. It's a very expensive bait, as you can see, lots of details, probably insane machine time, which would account for some of the high cost, and the largest they'll even cut it in is 2 cavity here. So I think we're going to go with that, and we're going to have to use triple injection. Once we dial in the color, though, we're definitely going to shoot this in some other molds and just kind of see how everything looks. But I'm excited nonetheless to try something really crazy. So for today's color build, obviously, we need a layer of brown. See, the guys at Dead on Plastics, Travis and Randy, they don't like me very much. So sometimes they just don't even give me bottles with labels as punishment. So we need a dark brown, right? So we're going to blend brown and black. We also need our orange layer. So we're going to use orange and maybe brighten it with yellow. And then we need a blue layer. But that's actually a really bright blue. If we look at this blue, there's a lot of white in it. So we're going to have to blend probably blue and white to achieve the blue in this, right? Well, at least the dominant blue. There's blue on the sides, but they're not as pronounced. Okay, so we're gonna sort of try to match the claws. Okay, since we're limited to 3 colors here, and I can't really get the black, brown, orange, and blue, I'm gonna have to kind of combine the brown, right? And sort of go for a dark brown, right? With some black flake. So we're definitely going to put some black flake in these layers to just try to mimic some of the overall black hue in it. But we're not really going to be able to get 4 separate colors, right? You know, triple injection is just that. 3 layers, that's what you're limited to. Yeah, we definitely... Oh, how do I want to do this? How do I want to do this? This is getting hard already. Alright, so we've got our brown base. You know, that brown's very yellow. We're going to have to yellow this brown, actually. And darken it. Whew! It's going to be tough. Okay. Let's just see what we can do, folks. Alright, this might not work, and that's okay if it don't. But this is how we're going to hopefully start. And really, that brown has a little bit of green pumpkin to it as well. Okay, I don't hate that. Okay, now let's try to mix up our blue. We actually don't need much blue. We'll start with 3 drops. Alright. And then the white will opaque it, which is going to be very, very important, right? We're going to need an opaquing agent so that you can actually see all 3 of these colors. Okay. So a little bit more blue. Let's see where this gets us. Yeah. Because see how it's sort of a really bright blue. Oop. See? It's just kind of there, right? Our blue is too blue. So we need to take some blue out of it. Which we will do with more white. Then you can even add a little bit of brown to dull the blue. So, you know, this is gonna be a doozy, y'all. This is gonna be a hard color build. Okay, as you can see, we are getting closer. Okay. Alright, let's take you in a little bit closer. Alright, we added a little bit of green pumpkin, which kind of changed the hue, right? So some dead-on melons. And that actually kind of changed our blue to sort of that greenish blue that you see there. That's really, really close now. While the laundry noise isn't so bad, let's try to get this orange dialed in. Alright. Dead-on orange is absolutely amazing, by the way. So, I do think we will have to yellow it a little bit. Yeah. Which, I actually prefer that. I love orange that is slightly yellowed. And again, right, you can add a little bit of brown to dull it. Okay. We literally added green pumpkin to blue and white. So our orange is anyone's guess. Let's add some yellow to yellow it. Okay, and then brown to dull it. Because what makes his craw colors so good there is the lack of oversaturation. And by saturation, I don't mean necessarily the power. I just mean it's not crayon orange. It's not crayon blue, right? These are very natural hues that he's getting. And they're not overstated. Yeah, there we go. Right? It's almost like we got to now fight to take orange out of the orange and yellow it because it's a little bit yellow orange. Okay. Man, these triple colors are a nightmare, aren't they? It's just never an easy one. So there's our orange. Scoot the camera over. We still need to dull it, I think. It needs to be dulled and yellowed still, I think. So we'll yellow it up a little bit more and dull it just a smidge more. So the brown will actually darken it and dull it. So we got to make sure not to darken it too much. But yeah, boy, that is... Golly, that's getting close. So we've got some like colors there. We might kind of be getting close. Okay, the color build is coming to completion, at least I hope. So last step, we're just going to throw some medium-sized square-cut black flake into each layer here. And just kind of give them a little bit of texture, I guess. We'll just call it that. So I've got the triple injector and the triple injector blending block heating up, doing a little bit of preheating, just so that it's not quite so hard to push all this plastic through. Yeah. Yeah, looking nice there. Just a little salt and pepper on these colors. It's just like putting seasoning on food. Okay, wish me luck. We're just going to run the new mold first, just to see if the color's even in the ballpark. And then if I like it, we'll definitely get out some other crawl molds and sort of give you a buffet to look at of what this color would look like in different styles of bait. All right. It's very Miami Dolphins, if I do say so myself. I'm getting a very strong Miami Dolphins vibe out of it. So, yeah. All right, let's take a look at the blending block. This is always fun. Yeah. Y'all remember that old restaurant, Miami Subs? That's what it reminds me of. Miami Subs back in the day. All my 90s babies, shout out. Alright, I'm not too confident here, but given the fact, hey, it's my first shot in a new mold, we'll give it a drum roll. See what happened here. Maybe. We will maybe see what happened here. Ooh. Tell you what, from the top, it's got a great shade of blue craw. I don't see any of the orange yet, but maybe we'll get some orange. Okay. Wow. All right. For how crazy the shape is, laminated quite nice. Okay, y'all, what do you think? Is that even in the ballpark? But I guess first things first, let's just check out the mold, right? Really interesting there on the claw. This like giant notch. I kind of like that. Yeah, very cool. So the bottom of crawfish, right? Always kind of real messy, right? Just a lot of junk, right? And so they put the junk on the bottom. Just sort of random, looks very organic. Super cool. I've never had a craw mold quite like this one. I don't throw baits like this a lot. I prefer something that's gonna kick and you know, give me a little bit of action. You know, just mostly in Florida, I'm throwing craws on the back of a swim jig or something, and I needed to have some movement. I don't throw traditional jigs very much, in which case a profile bait works quite nicely. However, did it match our reference? That's coming up next. Well, okay, let's take a look and really see what we did here. So I kind of chose to try to color match just the claws, right? I knew I wasn't going to be able to get the body. There's a whole different shade of brown back here in the back, and the body has a lot less of the orange and blue in it. There's a little orange, laundry noise. There's a little orange up under here, oops, and a little blue there on the side, right? You can see a little bit, but I knew that the dominant colors were here in the claws, and I wasn't going to have the luxury of being able to do the body separate from the claw, right? Because injection, the plastic fills the entire cavity. So did I match the claws? Not bad. The only thing I'm missing is sort of this yellowish brown, right? You can see a little yellow brown there, a little bit of yellowish brown there, yellowish brown there. I kind of had to choose, did I want the dark brown to try to capture all the black I'm seeing, or did I want that more yellowish, greenish, green pumpkin brown? And I chose to go dark just to kind of get, I think, the more dominant color. So given the limitations of only having 3 colors, I'm actually quite happy with that. I could yellow up my brown and try to capture some of that. Do you think we should do it? I don't know. All right, let's give this one more shot. We did slightly add some more yellow to the brown just to see what happens. I don't know if it'll make a difference. So we've got the HC Craw, we've got the Ecto Craw from AI, and then the AR Craw from AI. So we're gonna do 3 different shots here and see how they come out. So let's get to it. One down. Boy, that thing never gets any easier. Okay. Tell you what, I inadvertently created an excellent shade of blue craw. I will give myself props for that. Okay. Let's get these off. Yeah. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, here's that same shot again. So overall, round 2 was closer because there are a few little places in the claws where the brown is interacting with the blue that we get that sort of yellowish, right at my knife tip. You can see sort of that yellow green pumpkin. We get a little bit of that over there, a little bit here, a little bit there, right? It's just kind of hidden in there. But right where the brown is you know, thicker and more saturated in other parts of the body, we get that dark hue, right, to try to get the darkness that we see. So I'm actually 100% happy with this one. Okay, here it is in the mighty Ecto Craw. Heck yeah. Looking good. I love the kick and action on this bait. And again, some of that sort of yellowish brown is coming out in the claws. So that's what we were hoping for. So yeah, there is the Ecto Craw. Great jig trailer bait, might I add, for swim jigs. But check out these ARS craws. I love how it is displaying color, right, in the claws. So if we look at the HD craw from earlier, just the different shape, right, how thick the claw is, you're really only seeing the brown and blue. However, a thinner appendage allows you to see all 3 colors a little bit more. So I really like what I'm getting from the claws there. So let's get one out. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Yeah, this one wears the color extremely well. Just extremely accurate to what I want it to look like. Yeah. Wow. Just look at all the different colors there. Okay, yep. The AR Craw definitely, definitely is wearing that right. Look at that. Isn't that cool? Well, we have reached that point in the video. Y'all know what time it is. Which one today was your favorite? Did you like this color better in the new kid on the block, the HD Craw? Did you like it better in the ARS Craw? Sort of a speed craw mold concept there. Or did you like it better in the age-old standard, the Ecto Craw, or Shank's Craw? Let's be honest, that one right there takes the cake. But as far as the ones that we did, which ones did you like the most? Let me know down in the comments below. Well, all right, something about pushing a triple injector makes you hungry. Had to grab some lunch real quick. But I sent those pictures over to Shank Bait just now. Shank Bait Company. Say that 5 times fast. Shank Bait Company. Shank Bait Company. Sent them over and he approved. I think he thought it was actually pretty decent. I'm just looking at our messages here. Yeah. Yep. Oh man, that will be insane. Can't wait to watch. You're a stud. Okay, all right. He liked it. So appreciate that, buddy. And like I said, I'll definitely link his Facebook page down below in the comments so that you can check out his work as well. The dude's a wizard. Totally awesome what he's doing. So it's very much my privilege to try to color match one of his creations. So with that said, definitely, again, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Let me know down in the comments which one today was your favorite. And if you would like to see any other crazy color matches, shoot me some ideas. See you guys next time.